on the light?
Yep, they're coming on now.
Yeah.
Just want to bring this 80%.
Yeah. Hi. Good. Yeah. I don't see anything. I don't know if there is anyone, but it's fine. Yeah, you got the U. The U. Here in UK, you got this tree. The U was 5,000 years. Now, whenever a branch touches the ground, it sprouts some roots, and then you have another tree coming. Easy. Linden tree, especially in primal forest between Poland and Belarus. You go there, you see it. You have the linden tree. And you have different sprouts coming out around the trunk. And when the taller tree, when the big guy or big woman, whatever you want, it's going to fall down, one of these little sprouts will take its place. Maybe more than 1, 2, 3, 4, who knows? Easy, no? Papyrus. I got papyrus at home. Every time I don't understand, then I cut, or I throw the ball or a pen or whatever, I get nervous, or a dove fly through and cut one of the head of papyrus. The papyrus fall down in water, sprout some roots. You have another plant. See? Easy, no? I don't know. Let an oak tree grows. Let it grows like 600 years, 40 meters high. I saw them. They have a canopy big like your house. Then take a leaf on the east side and take a leaf on the west side. They don't have the same DNA. Every bud, whenever the branch spread in two, it changes DNA. Ba, 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 ba. Every bud is a seed. Easy, no? The most beautiful flowers, the most beautiful. Come on, iris. You say iris? I don't know. I say also quacking aspen. I have no idea. Iris, tulips, or like the wild narcissus. It's easier for them to reproduce with a rhizome, or rhizome, or zzz, I like also, than by the flower. You know, I can go on forever. Aspen, when you see the mountain aspen at the beginning of autumn and everything turns yellow and you think, oh, what a beautiful forest. That's not a forest. That's just one tree pretending to be a forest. The royal hooks. Doesn't have flowers, doesn't have fruits, doesn't have seeds, doesn't have spores. It reproduces just like this since the beginning of time. Come on, the flower is not sexual organ for reproduction. I'm sorry, this is just the guarana, because I think I'm taking these guarana pills every morning, and it gives me much more energy than what I need. And so I have this hunger coming. But I'm a good guy, it's just the guaranas. Okay, cut it short. Let's call it sexual organ, even if nothing in the tree looks like an organ. The tree is the place of metamorphosis, okay? You think it's a branch, it can become a root. You think it's a root, it can become a flower or a fruit. But let's call it sexual organ. If it is a sexual organ, then it's really a sexual organ. See what I mean? I don't know, I hope you know what I mean. Yeah. Now they discovered, when I say they, always the scientist. Now they discovered that the flower can hear the buzz of the bee coming. I like the bee coming thing. I don't know if you like it, but I love it. They hear the buzz of the bee coming, but not for centimeters, from meters away. Meters away, they hear it. And so they produce more sugar, and they produce more pollen. And they say, oh, it's increasing its chances to reproduce. It's getting wet. It's not increasing. If I have sex, and you come and you say, oh, it's increasing its chances to reproduce, then I think about the cost of diapers in France, and it's very expensive, and hardly I have an hard-on. I love guarana. You should try. Where I am. Okay, the buzz of becoming, this we did it. The cost of diapers, this we did it. Mushroom telephone operator, this doesn't... It's not in the talk about flowers, but I like to say this all the time. Now they discovered that trees, they talk to each other through mushrooms. Through mushrooms. Can you imagine how boring is this with mushrooms? It's like, it's only about, can you give me some azote? I'm going to give you some water all day, 24 hours a day. These mushrooms are telephone operators. It's terrible, very badly paid. Oh, the water lily, I love. Have you ever seen this water lily? Then at night they close, no? And inside you can find coleopter, beetles, whatever insect you want, no? And then they say, oh, the flower manipulate this coleopter and trap the coleopter inside. Now, water lilies at night, they rise up their temperature, 13 degrees. And then when they close, it means if you go inside and have sex with your partner, no one of the night hunters can catch you. And inside is also warm. And since you're buzzing around, fucking, the flower produces more sugar and more pollen because it wants to increase its chance to procreate. It's so funny because if you say something like this, it means you never felt the spasm in your anus when you want to get penetrated. Or you never felt your pussy getting wet or the top of your knob dripping. Okay, you got it, right? Anyway, I just would like to show you one flower to make you understand what I have in mind. I don't understand it anymore because I want to go on the second part. But there is this flower, it's called the orchid of the bee. It's a little flower, tiny flower, just like this, and it looks like a bee standing on a flower. So the flowers have hairs, and then little wings, transparent wings like a bee. It's brown and dark and yellow like a bee, and when the time comes, it produces a pheromone that really smells like the female bee. And when it does, the male bee comes and starts to have sex with a flower that looks like a bee standing on a flower. That says, how is it possible that the orchid knows about the bee? Because maybe they've been loving each other since so long that one took the habit of the other. Or maybe because there are bridges here, everywhere, that we just don't see yet. I'm not forgetting about the pomegranate or datura seeds. Thousands and thousands of little datura seeds in one fruit of datura. I sprout them in my house. I sell it for $5. But inside that little seed, you can be sure. It was pleasure, it was fun, and there is some little information about what was happening in the world around the tree and around the plant at the time of fecundation. They will think I'm crazy, but this is what I think. I can show you this this orchid now, because I don't know if you see it, but we are in a garden. Now, you don't see it because there is too much light. I will ask my singers to come on stage, please. Thank you. And then the foley artist, the wild creatures. You don't see the garden now because there is too much light, see? But if we dim down the light now, yes. I need a computer, I think. Because then I'm lost, which I am already, but good, thank you. So we turn off the light so you can see better. And one step after the other, we go backwards into this garden. Images, they have nothing to do with light. We dream with our eyes closed, don't we? Every time I walk in this garden, I always walk backwards. I got my future on my back, makes me feel comfortable. My present is always a surprise, and the past stays there. I can mostly say goodbye. Bye. Wow, are you looking at the elm trees? It's not strange to see elm trees along a stream. It's good wood for coffins and wheels. Now, so the coffin and the wheels, they're two things that turns around and brings people there where they've never been. Here, everything is green, and nothing is the same. This way, one step after the other. The hazel touched you. See, it's good wood for arrows and bows. Now, under the leaf, the nuts, they come in three. One for you, one for me, and the other? See, justice is always a choice. Look, the branches of the hazel always tend to the water. A lake, a river, a pond, a valley. That's why they say if an hazel touches you, you can get pregnant in a week. What? You have no one to love at night? Eat the nuts! They give the power to write sad poems. Grapes. They cannot survive a winter. They cannot survive a bunch of flies. They demand a lot of attention, a lot of care. For what? For some wine. Sometimes I wonder who is the slave, me or grapes? Grapes. They found the right drug to keep us working for free. Yeah, this way. One step after the other. This is a bridge. Don't worry. Good. Soon, the cherry. A cherry tree. Whoop, the cherries. Though it's not the right season. See? It makes no sense to look for cherries when it's not the right season. In the center of this forest, there is a taller, older, and bigger cherry tree. One day, when I was older, much older than today, a girl came into this garden. She was so beautiful. She was so beautiful that I forgot how old was I. What can I do for you, my lady, in this garden? I said. Oh, can you please pick some cherries for me? She asked. Because soon I'll have a child. A child? A child, I thought? A child means a father, and a father means a man. Why don't you ask the father of your child to pick the cherries for you? And with a smile, she turned toward the cherry tree. And the cherry tree bent at his highest branches to let her pick the most red of the cherries. It's not strange. Not strange. An oak tree. And now the black elder. Here it is, see? Some people, they say Judas hanged himself on it. Now those berries are dried and dead, but with the others, we make jam, candies, wine, and some very good white spirit. Yeah, very good things. Good and tasty, like the scene. The scene for a berry is to die on branches. Get eaten when you're a berry. Get eaten. Now watch out, there is a slope. Come down. I bring you to see the old one. The oldest tree we have here. Watch out, slowly. Here is the old one. This is a very old tree now. Touch it. Come on, touch it. Good. Now a tree is dead inside. Life only runs there where you touch it, few centimeters under the bark. See? This is the you. Now don't lick your fingers, don't suck on them, because only one drop from his leaf killed the father of Hamlet. Only one arrow from his wood killed Richard the Lionheart. And when Dante found the gate of hell, in which forest of trees do you think he went through? With the wood from this yew, the first lute was made, and with the wood from this yew, the first bow was made. Now guess, what came first? War or music? Don't rest under this tree, or you will hear stories that aren't true, see things that are not, from voices with no mouth. And don't sleep under this tree. You may never wake up again. Are you listening? Are you listening, or you have been confused by the flowers? Digitalis, because you can stick your finger in it. Children, they do it all the time. They stick their finger and they lick. And this is when their imaginary friends pop up. Don't do it. Don't suck on it. Without the imagination of children, you may die by visions. Flowers. You know, flowers and ideas, they go very well together, because flowers, like ideas, are something that blossom. This way, see? You walk backwards so good, you mostly do not need me anymore. Don't get scared. It's just the sculpture of a bear. Fern. Ancient people, they were puzzled because, you know, ferns, they make no flowers, no seeds, nothing. So they thought that the flower can only be found at midnight. If you eat this flower, it can become invisible. But see, fern, they only have spores. Now, about witches, everything is true. To be invisible, I don't know, but if you keep chewing this plant, it's gonna make you blind. You know, it's like hide and seek when you were little. If you don't see them, why they should see you? This is the ginkgo, or ginkgo, as you like. When the fruits fall down in the ground, everything smells like vomit and sperm. Trees are so poor. Now, one day, I think it was here, or it was there. Now, I think it was here, or it was there. Here, I saw this young girl. She was running everywhere. She was running from here to there, and she was looking under every wild bush. I think she was looking for something. Was she looking for this? Or was she looking for this? Belladonna berries. Every girl in Florence know what this is for. One berry, he make your eyes big and dark peach like a starless, endless night. Two berries, and he makes your lips fat and red, ready to be kissed. 3 berries, and it doesn't matter if your lover is ugly, your heart will beat as fast as if you are in love. 4 berries. They are good for the first night. They open your body like a flower. It helps. But she thought the king to be a great king, and the night a long night, so she took 5. Poor girl. On that night, in the bed with the king, opened as she was, she pissed on herself, on the bed, and on the king. But chances they turned on her side, and unlucky as it may seem, I like it, said the king. Can you do it again? Bye-bye, my sweet lady, bye-bye. Bye-bye, lucky lady, bye-bye. Now it comes a very long story, and sometimes I forget. So, it's okay if I jump and cut and edit. It's gonna be fine. Snowberry. When the bees they will finish their work, this little flower will grow like a big round white berry. It can be mistaken for snow. They call it the snowberry. We don't smoke it, we don't drink it, we don't eat it, but it comes with a story. Salish people of North America, they tell the story of Southwind, a wanderer, a trickster, a smartass, was smarter than Ulysses. He met giants, witches, gods, monsters, even his friends were turned into pigs. But when he met the sirens, he didn't tire himself against the mast. Without thinking twice, he jumped in the river and he made sex with all the sirens. And as a prize, they just gouged out his eyes. Blind, he reached the shore and he got his hand on a wild snowberry bush. He knew that the berry were white and big and round, so he put one berry on his left eye socket and another on his right. And walking like pretending to see, he went to the eagle. What south wind is it doing in my forest? This is the voice of the eagle. I'm sorry, I couldn't find better. I came to see what you can see on the other side of the sea, said South Wind. There is nothing like the other side of the sea. There is only the middle of the sea where the big fish are hunting. Oh, so you don't see those people on the other shore coming with the big boat? Soon they will be here and they will conquer our land. No, I cannot see that far, South Wind. I guess you beat me, said the eagle. Okay, why don't you give me your eyes? Huh? So I can fix them, and I give you mine so you can see what I see. Now the eagle, who never saw stories or myth, gave away her eyes and found herself with a pair of berries. And Southwind, who mistaken a prophecy for a trick, he found himself with the knowledge that no one ever been blind, one so farther in space and the other in time. Okay, you're not here for the plants, right? You know, sometimes people, they come here because they want to understand who they are. But I think to understand who you are, you have to look how everything looks like when you're not here. That's the difference, right? Do you remember the first time you saw something like this? The first time you saw something like this, you were little. You were not even walking. You were pushed. Maybe it was your mother, maybe your father, maybe it was Nanny pushing you in the alley. But the only thing you were able to see were those trees, those leaves, the sky, and the flickering light. Remember, one day they will put you in a boat. They will slide you gently into the river, and the stream will carry you away. And the only thing you will be able to see will be those trees, those leaves, the sky, and the flickering light. See, every beginning is already its own end.